Hello and welcome to episode 20! Woo! Celebrate with maracas. I throw them on the cat. No, I didn't. Don't worry about that. And so it's been scorcho today. Today the weather has been scorcho. It has been really warm. I hope you've been able to get out into it, whether it's your garden or just have the windows open. Let me take these off. I can't see now. Or maybe go for a walk if it's safe to do so. Maybe a bike ride. I hope you've all been able to get out and enjoy the weather, because it's actually a little bit of a relief from the stress and the suffering, isn't it? And hopefully a relief from the kind of monotony, if you're feeling monotony as well, because we all need a bit of relief, don't we? We need a bit of something different and a little bit of hope, and because these times make us wonder. They make us think big thoughts, don't they? At least I hope you've been thinking big thoughts about what is life really about. Is it about being busy? Is it about being successful? Or is it about family and friends and being together and community? And I hope that also it's made you think big thoughts about kind of why am I here and what's going to happen in the future and what's going to happen. Maybe how is the world going to end? How is the world going to end? And do you know, today's passage from the Bible, one of Jesus' messages in his last final week, in this Holy Week, is actually about the end times. It's about how the world is going to end. You know, we might kind of think, gosh, well one day we'll be wiped out by like a virus or a plague, or maybe a comet's going to come and wipe out the entire human population or all life on Earth. But actually, Jesus tells us that the world is going to end when he says it's going to end. Well, actually, when the Father says it's going to end. And this is what he says to his disciples. That they're just discussing kind of some buildings, and they're like, oh, it's not a nice building. Look at the temple. Look at the stones are laid. And Jesus says they're all going to be thrown down. They're not going to last. And the disciples are like, when? When's it going to happen? And they say, tell us, when will this happen? And what will be the sign of the coming of the end of the age? And so this is how Jesus replies. He says, watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumours of wars. You will hear of... sorry, I've just read that. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginnings of birth pains. So the first thing that Jesus says about the end of the earth is that there will be difficult times. So point one, expect difficult times. People kind of think, oh, what about now? Is now the end of times? And we just don't know. If things are going to get worse and worse before Jesus comes, we don't know when the worst is. We don't know. We can't say that now is worse than any other time, because we don't have the benefit of the whole sight of whole of history. We just know that we are to expect difficult times. And isn't it kind that God has told us that? We are to expect wars and rumours of wars and famines and nations rising against nation, which is a war. But yeah, and so the first point is that we are to expect suffering, but also know that Jesus knows that, and Jesus knows what it is to suffer, as we're going to see over the next few days. And so he goes on and he talks a lot, and it's a bit confusing because there's stuff about what's going to happen when the temple gets destroyed, and then Jerusalem in AD 70, and it's all a little bit mishmashy. But then Jesus talks again about the end of time, and this is what he says about the day that Jesus comes back. He says, but about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, only the Father. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah had entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. Two men will be in the field, one will be taken, the other left. 2 women will be at the grinding with a handmill, one will be taken and the other left. Therefore, and this is the important bit, keep watch, because you do not know on what day the Lord will come. And so this is the second point. Point 2, be ready. The whole world will end when Jesus comes back, and everyone will meet him. It says the dead will rise from their graves, and every single human who's ever lived and whoever will live will meet Jesus, and they will meet him face to face, and you will meet him face to face, and I will meet him face to face. And Jesus will destroy all evil and will renew the earth. And for those who trust in Jesus, it's going to be fantastic. Because Jesus will separate humanity. He will separate humanity into those who've been forgiven, those who've trusted in Jesus now, here, while there's still time, and those who haven't. And those who have trusted in Jesus will be with him in paradise forever. Forever. In paradise. In a perfect earth. In a perfect heaven. In a perfect world. It's going to be stunning. But those who have not trusted in Jesus will sadly be thrown into hell. And someone that once said to a famous preacher called Dick Lucas, he said it in this sermon jam, which I'll post in a link in the below. He said, someone once said to him, "You're trying to scare me, aren't you, Mr. Lucas?" And his answer was, "I wish I could. I wish I could scare you into trusting in Jesus." Because hell is not to be messed with. And I wish that that everyone, I will long for everyone to know this hope that we have in Jesus. To know that death is not the end. To have this hope in this time of stress and chaos. And so are you ready to meet Jesus? Are you ready to meet Jesus? Because you will meet him face to face one day. Guaranteed. And his arms are open to you. His arms are open, and he wants to receive you, and he wants to forgive you. He wants to give you peace with God. He wants to give you He wants to forgive you and give you life forever with him, and it's free to you. We'll see how much it cost Jesus this weekend. But the life that he offers, the hope, the peace, the just amazing eternal life with him forever is free. Will you come to Jesus? Will you take him up on his offer? Come to Jesus, come and find hope. And if you have, then you can rest and you can have hope in these times. Because we know that death is not the end. And so, come and find hope. I plead with you. Come to Jesus today. Come and have your sins forgiven today. And so, moving on from something very, very serious to the update that I think you've all been waiting for. How are those kitchen utensils in the wilderness? Good afternoon and welcome once more to this special edition of Where Are The Argos Kitchen Utensils? We saw them a few weeks ago, and so the weather has changed slightly since then. It's now much warmer here, and so we'll have to go and see. First of all, let's check this nest to find out how they are doing. Here we go. And as we get closer to the nest, we actually see that today the nest is empty. And so let's go and see if we can find them on a hunt round in the wilderness out here. And first of all, let's just see the local moggies. There's one just up there, and there's another. Ah, and look, we are spotting. There seems to have been a friendship that has been struck by the spoon and the moggy. Well, isn't it interesting? Just an example of how these two species, the Argos kitchen utensils and the moggies, can actually become friends in nature. Well, that is incredible. But let's proceed with our journey, and we can see, I don't know if we can see one up here, but there seems to be one caught in this trap. And so let's see, shall we interfere? And this is the constant dilemma in nature, isn't it? Should we interfere and let this poor ladle off and out of the trap, or should we let nature take its course? Well, we could have a vote on screen, but I think what we'll do is let's interfere, shall we? Let's interfere and try and, well, if I can interfere, I will. Here we go, and so let's place the ladle down very carefully. Hopefully, there we go, it has been released from its trap. So let's go and see if we can find any of the others. We're looking for, I think, three more. And so here we go, round by the shed. Look, there is a sneaky moggy underneath there. But also, what do we find? What do we find up here? It is the youngling. Do you remember the youngling that we saw? Now it's sunbathing on the shed roof. And I've just spotted another two that are sunbathing. Look, if we go up here, very quietly, very carefully, we don't want to disturb them. There are two up here. There we go. And so we see that the Argos kitchen utensils rather enjoy this sunny weather and the warm weather, much like the human species as well. So tune in next time for more hunting in the wilderness. Goodbye. It's good to have an update on those Argos kitchen utensils. Excellent. And so just a reminder that we're going to have a Maundy Thursday a video tomorrow, and then a Good Friday one, and then none on Saturday, and then we will have Easter Sunday. So exciting. Easter Sunday is my favourite day of the year. Absolutely. Trumps Christmas. Brilliant. Love it. So we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.